Today we're going to take all of this stuff and turn it into that. Okay, to start this project, the main things you're going to need are 7 16-inch pieces of 1.5-inch PVC pipe. Now this stuff's sold in like a 10-foot length, so you buy 10 feet, cut your 7 pieces out of there. You're going to need 4 of these little, I think they're called inspection plugs. They'll fit inside the pipe, make it, technically you can make it watertight. You'll need 4 1.5-inch T-sections. These are a couple bucks. And you will need both the primer and the cement to glue all of this together. The first thing we're going to do after you've got the parts cut is we're going to glue one plug into the end of 4 of these pieces. These are going to make up the feet of the stand. And this is where what I do is a little different. I've seen these made just empty, make the stand with these just empty. I've seen people put sand in them, in which case you have to plug both ends of this before you glue it. The problem with that is if one of these breaks, rolling around in your trunk or something, this thing's spreading sand all over the place. So what I do is I glue an end on 4 of these, and then I put concrete in these and let it set up. I'll show you how we do that. I use Quikrete concrete, which you can pour the dry powder or the dry mix in here and then pour water on top of it. It'll absorb it through here and set up in about a half hour. So that would be the very next step. The first step in the assembly is to put the plugs in one end of 4 of the 16-inch pieces. And we're going to glue these in. As you can see, I've put cardboard on the table to protect the tabletop because you don't want to get glue on your table. You're also, this primer is purple, and I just dripped it on there. This primer is purple and it stains. So protect the surface you're working on. But all you need to do is take and put primer around the inside of the pipe. Let that sit. And actually here, while we're waiting for that, we'll put it on all of these. You also have to put primer around the inside of these caps. Okay, and we're not trying to make this watertight, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Then after this is dried, we're going to come back and just put cement around there. Plug the cap in, set it over there and let it dry. Now, we're only plugging one end. We want one end open because we're going to pour concrete in it. Okay, now we're going to put concrete in the leg tubes. Remember, we've got plugs already glued into these. Going to sit them in a bucket just to hold them up. In here I have dry ready mix, and I'm just going to take a paper cup, get a bunch of that, and pour it into the tube. Okay, that's filled up to about there with concrete at the moment. Then I'm going to take water and just pour a little bit of water in there. Now that's going to absorb down through the Quikrete and saturate it. And I can see the water dropping in here already. So I'm going to get ready to put some more concrete in. Okay, and this is just going to take a little bit of water because that brought the water level up in there. And basically you let that set, and after a few minutes that water level will drop a little bit and you pour more concrete in it. And once you've got the concrete up near the top, maybe a ½ inch, ¼ inch from the top, you just let it set. And within 20 to 40 minutes it'll harden and you're ready to go. Okay, now the concrete is dry inside the tubes that we're using for the feet. So now we're going to start assembling this, and a lot of the same steps we did earlier with the plugs. We're going to put primer around the outside of the tube. We're going to put primer around the inside of the T. Yep. After that dries, and it dries pretty quickly, shoot a little bit of cement around there and pop that on, and that's glued in. Now we're just going to repeat that with the next pipe. Let's see, got to get some primer on there. Let that dry a little bit, and then we'll put glue. And boom. That is the foot assembly. Now the stand itself is going to come up from here, but that's all there is to it. Now, and these, I'm going to have to weigh these and see what they actually weigh, but that adds quite a bit of weight to the base of this. So the next step then would be to, sorry, reaching off screen there, take a piece and put it in here. Now the piece that goes down in here, I don't put cement on this. That way I can take this apart and break it down when I need to haul it in the trunk of the car or something of that, that nature. So you could glue this and it would be permanent. I just don't. Okay, now we're going to do the cross piece and the uprights. Really simple to do. It's pretty much like we did the other part. You're going to put primer in here. You're going to put primer on an upright. Let that dry a little bit, and they dry pretty quickly. Put cement around there, stick that in there. Okay, now this is going to stand up like that. We're going to make a second one for this side. Okay, one thing that I should point out also is we're not putting any glue in the top of this one because this is where the wooden stanchions are going to go. That does not have to have glue in it at all. But put a little around there, stick that one in there, and then it's a matter of putting the cross piece in. I'm getting sloppier and sloppier as I go. Okay. Now one thing I should say that if you are going to glue this piece into your feet, it's a good idea to assemble this on the table to make sure these are square with each other before you glue it in. In other words, make this entire assembly and glue it into the feet all at once. That way everything is square and it lines up. I don't glue mine in, so it doesn't really matter here. Okay, a little glue around that. Pop that in there. Glue around this side. It's like Tinker Toys. All right, there you go. That, I said it didn't matter, and it is a little bit twisted, but there you go. It's put together. Now we just pop that into the legs, or the feet, like this. Sorry, reaching off camera. And that makes the base to our target stand. Okay, the only thing to do to finish this up is to put the wooden stanchions in. Now these are just 1 by 1.5 furring strips. You can get these at any box store. They're really cheap. They're like $1, $1.50. Stick those in there. Then I use A-clamps in a piece of cardboard. Clamp one side. And now you got a target stand. So, like I said, these are cheap. So if you throw a bad shot and break one of the wooden stanchions, $1.50 you can fix it, okay? Remember that I didn't glue this joint. That allows me to pull the uprights off, and I can lay this whole thing flat in the trunk of a car. If you do make one of these, always remember when you use it, be sure you're using it in an appropriate area. Safety first. Always know what's behind you and what's beyond your target. But other than that, 15 bucks, you can build a target stand. Thanks for tuning in.